I'm Jordan Bell with Texas A&M AgriLife, and we're at the North Plains Groundwater Conservation District's Water Conservation Center. Today we're looking at cotton that was planted on May the 7th. This is 21 days post-planting, and we have accumulated about 185 growing degree days or heat units since planting. Right now our cotton is still in a cotyledon stage, but we are starting to, on many plants, put on our first true leaf as well as our second true leaf. And so we see that that cotton is really starting to progress. Of course, looking at this field, many people might think there is not a lot going on, but we are seeing that we are actually getting rapid root development, which is very important during this period. Our rooting depth across the field is probably anywhere from 3 to 4 inches. And during this period, root development actually occurs at a rate of ½ inch or more per day, which is very important during this early stand establishment. Talking about the stand, we are currently looking at anywhere from 40 to 60% of what was planted actually as a stand at this point. I have visited with many farmers who are concerned about plant stands and often consider when would be an ideal time to replant. However, our data over the last 6 years has shown that across the Texas Panhandle, our final stand is anywhere from 40 to 70% of what was planted. So if a farmer was considering replanting, there is not a guarantee that they would have greater than 50 to 60% of a stand with the replanted crop. And more than likely, they would be behind based on the development that has occurred over the last 3 weeks. So in my opinion, it would be best to keep this stand that is about 40 to 60% of what was dropped. This field was planted at 60,000 seeds per acre, and on average, we're looking at about 30 to 40,000 plants right now. We will do our final stand counts at 30 days post-planting because we are still seeing some plants start to germinate and emerge. Often there's questions about late emerged plants actually becoming weeds and just competing, but we really do see that some of these plants that are still emerging within 3 weeks still are viable and contributing to that yield. Plants that do start emerging after 3 to 4 weeks, those really are not contributing to yield at that point. Now at this stage, the cotton plant is actually very susceptible to thrips injury. The thrip has piercing, sucking mouth parts, and so those mouth parts are biting and sucking the juices out of the leaves, and they do cause leaf injury, which can actually, with severe infestation, can kill plants as well as slow the rate of development and thus be yield limiting. And especially from 1 true leaf through 4 true leaf, the seedling is very susceptible. To look for thrips, of course, we want to look under the cotyledon leaves as well as those newly developed leaves. And I personally find it very hard to see the thrip with the naked eye. And so I either use a field glass, but also just having a piece of plain white paper and thumping that little seedling, we can often find a thrip. So when we start to see thrips, of course, we want to spray when we reach that threshold. Up until 2 leaf cotton, the insecticide seed treatment is providing some control, but we do really, especially between the 2 leaf and 4 leaf stage, want to be very proactive and be scouting. And at the 2 leaf stage, if we have 2 thrips per plant, and this would be scouting, at least 25 plants within that field, then we do want to go ahead and spray so that we do not wind up with any yield loss due to the thrip injury. After 4 leaf cotton, the plant is not going to be as susceptible to injury.